All right, everyone, welcome back to the We Shall Not Sleep podcast. I hope you are all doing well on this fine Wednesday. I know that I am. It's really nice. We've adjusted away here from vacation. I had a fantastic 4th of July for those of us in the United States. It was America's birthday last week. A lot of people had a lot of time off. I know I enjoyed mine, and so I had one class finish, and now on Wednesdays is when my only remaining class for the semester is done, and I get to chill for the rest of the week. Schoolwork-wise, it's really nice, and so for wherever you are, however you might be listening, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I had been absent a couple of the weeks prior to this, and it's just because we've got a lot of stuff going on. There's just a lot to handle and to juggle, and so thank you all so much for bearing with us and being willing to just kind of go with the flow. That's what we needed here as of late. I wanted to talk about something, personal, something that I pride myself on, at least on this podcast, is being as open as I can. And one of the things that I've learned are the best things in my life that have happened are all the things that I have not arranged. They're the things that God has brought to me. Now, I've said this multiple times. I still invest a lot of time into exercising, into eating well, in using a lot of clean products in my life, as well as education. So it's mind, body, spirit type of thing. And being a pastor. Temptation is very hard sometimes. It's a very lonely and isolating vocation. It is something that is hard because, as it has been said before, that leadership is the art of disappointing people at a rate they can tolerate. And that is something that I think has been probably one of my favorite by a long shot quotes when it comes to this type of stuff. And so, for me, I am beyond grateful for the opportunities that God has brought to me, but I have to remember that He's the one who's brought them to me. If I go out there and try my best to truly, take whatever approach I want to life, what ends up happening, of course, is that when I seek to control things and I start worrying about them and I start taking over control of my own life and to the little extent that I have, what ends up happening is everything goes haywire. And so what I've learned is being able to stay present and not look too far ahead is what leads to success. Now, granted, the things of my life, fulfillment, desire of what I want, all that stuff has happened, and it's happened in spurts. I would say it's in spurts because at the same time, God knows what is best for you. That's easy to say. That's very easy for me to say. Granted, there was a lot of things I'd gone through a few years ago, stuff I'm still dealing with, multiple deaths at my church, including the tragic loss and the choosing of taking one's own life, a teenager in my church. Then there was my mom who almost passed away due to COVID, which she got from me, by the way. My parents took me in to take care of me, and then I ended up giving them COVID. And my mom knew that risk when she did that. So did my dad, and yet they still chose to do so anyway. What a demonstration of love. And so, I had all these things I haven't completely worked through, but I'm working on it. And one of the things that I am wanting to talk about really tonight is that there's still this big glaring thing that I haven't had, and that's a relationship, with the idea of marriage and then kids. And so I believe that's a desire that's in my heart, and I've talked about it multiple times. But here's the one thing I did not consider to this day. And Pastor Tracy Collier, Jackson S. Church, was helping me out actually earlier this very day. And it's about perspective that, we're the main characters in our own story because we are us. We're not somebody else. And yet the things that haven't happened can matter the most. And people say like singleness, wherever you're at in life. So I'm just talking about singleness. So whether you're single and you're still looking for that love of your life, or you have another burden, whatever that is, is the reason God has not granted you it yet, is it because he's protecting you from something? And I was thinking to myself, man, like, wow, I have never considered it that way, because it's not like it's punishment. I don't believe God's punishing me. I don't believe that I have to level up to a certain character level in order to be ready for a relationship per se. It doesn't give me the excuse not to invest in all these other areas of my life, but is it potentially that God's protecting me from something? Absolutely. I'm not saying it is. Yet at the same time, if I never consider that, like, what else are we doing? And that's, again, it comes down to purpose. It comes down to motive. What are we expecting of God? What are we expecting of ourselves? And this is, again, something that I've didn't even consider until today. Leaning and trusting on God, leaning not on our own understanding. That's in Proverbs. Psalms. Seek the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Wait patiently on the Lord. He'll give you the desires of your heart. The Lord is good to those who wait patiently for him. It's this idea that it's all God's timing. I get it. You can intellectually know it. You could spiritually know it. But then sometimes temptation hits. Sometimes the emotions of life. Sometimes the loneliness or the frustration or the a lot of the things that are from other people, the outside noises, have a lot of unintended effects where it can really get at you from time to time. And that's what I'm getting at now. As I'm getting at the fact that, it can be hard. It's just the grind. It's the daily grind of, hey, this is what I'm doing right now in my life. This is what I know to be the best thing. And therefore, everything else is secondary. God's called me to this thing. He's called me to this place, to these people. And 100%, I'm going to commit to that until God introduces something else. I say this as an encouragement because I don't know where each and every one of you are at when it comes to your faith walk, because I just want to say it is difficult. It is not easy. There are aspects of this that are incredibly frustrating. There are things that when you look back on life, it's like, man, I wish things could have ended differently. I wish things could be different. And yet at the same time, what ends up happening is we look back and we see God's timing all through it. But the grind, why I titled this episode The Grind, is that there is something to be said about when you are disciplined and you are implementing your routine and you're just flowing. You whether you're with your kids and you're in that grind of back to school and sports, but you're putting your priorities are correct, your values are correct. Maybe it's taking a step back. Maybe it's investing more in church or the people in your life. And like right now, my daily routine is, at least the first half of the week, is, hey, I'm at work, and then I'm working out after work. Then on like Tuesdays, I go visit my parents. Wednesdays usually a day off. I have all my schoolwork done by Wednesday. I mean, schoolwork's all constantly being done. Thursdays, I'm down at my church, invested in them. Friday, I have a home church I'm a part of, which I've talked about. Saturday mornings, a breakfast with the guys. A lot of accountability, a lot of discipleship. The rest of the day is kind of like a free day for me to catch up, to clean, to do laundry. Sunday morning's church, and then I hang out with friends Sunday. And when you look back over the week, it's like I've got my Bible reading in. I've hung out with friends. I've had edifying time with discipleship with other men, and then also with a whole group setting, church time, like the corporate worship. And then I've also worked out my physical body. I've had people to talk to about my emotional health and mental health. And then I got my schoolwork, which challenges me with knowledge, education. And so you have all these things, and when you look back on a week, you'd say, holy cow, I accomplished a lot of things. Thank you, Jesus, for bringing all these things to me. And then it's like, well, yeah, now you have yet another thing that you might ask for. And God's like, do you want to get burned out? Do you want to survive? Like, maybe I'm protecting you from this thing. Maybe you, or maybe all of us need to take a step back and evaluate how busy we are. And because Americans, we're addicted to busyness. We love having a routine because, God forbid, if someone finds out that we're not busy, or that we're tempted to now fill up the rest of our lives and our schedule. So the grind, the discipline of in and out, like every day, this is what you do. It's no longer something that you do. It's something that you are. That this is part of my life, and that's what I've had to adjust with school. Is that it's just a part of who I am now for the next 4 years at least. That between now and December of 2028, I'm in school. And that took a long time to really try to understand and really fully appreciate. But yet, what is the fruit of all of that is that, hey, we can grind here. We can invest in a lot of things, and now that it's a part of my life, I can make room for other things. And so this podcast at times has been one of those things I had to say, I had to put on the back burner. But it doesn't happen all the time. And one thing about my life that my dad has always said to me is the difference between priorities and values is that priorities change over time, values do not. What are you valuing with your family? Again, the things that you start this, get with other people. If you're missing something, if you are finding yourself discouraged or sad or maybe a little depressed, get with some people and read the Bible together. Open up Genesis 1 and just start reading it together. There's nothing that can substitute that. If you don't have people, go to a church, and if that's just there's no one there, maybe go to another church. I don't know what else to say. Is that you got to find people, and it takes an effort. It's very scary. It can be frustrating, especially if you've been burned before. But we're not meant to do this in isolation. And in that case, when you have the grind, when you have the work week, and you have these other little touches throughout the week that you can do, it makes the week that much more bearable. And you have people, ultimately friends, true companions that are there for your best interest. So that's the fruit of all of that. Good luck and best of luck with your grind. May God bless you guys, and may God keep you.